How are we doing? There we go. I was muted. Professional over here, people. Professional. Let's turn down this music a little. How are we doing? How are we doing, people? Got a few people in the chat. Good to see ya. This camera is broken. Love that. We absolutely love that. And they've all immediately left. Cool. Yeah, I know. It's not the highest production, so probably people are seeing this and they're going, oh, this isn't what I expected. Hey, here we go. Anyway, welcome back, guys. This is going to be a short stream today, but nevertheless, staying consistent. I said I would be consistent. I'm going to be consistent. Yes, my hair is a mess. Yes, I look homeless, but you know, that's the look I'm rolling with right now. You know, I think I'm bringing the popularity of it back. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, yeah. So today we're going to be doing a few things. So we're going to be going through some of the post-processing and color grading stuff that I do for shots in this Last of Us to give it more of a realistic kick. I'm going to show you the before and after of that so you guys can get an idea of how much impact color grading and post-processing can actually do to a shot. You know, you might render a shot out from Unreal Engine and you go, oh, it's not as realistic as I was hoping. And it's like, well, it's okay, because there's a lot that you can do in compositing and color grading to really push it over the edge to give it that look that you want, right? Now, the aim with this piece isn't for it to be photoreal. My goal isn't for people to watch this and be like, whoa, is that real? Is that CG? That's not my goal. My goal is to hit the same level of quality as the cutscenes in the video games, which is still realistic, but you don't look at them and go, whoa, is that real, right? There's a stylistic look to it, but it is also very realistic, very cinematic. So that is the direction that we're going in, right? So I think we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to do some of that stuff, play around with it. And then I think we might play around with some environment stuff, but it really just depends on the time. So I'm going to try and stick to about an hour for this live stream, keeping them quite digestible. And also, more importantly, the main reason why I'm being quite careful with these live streams is I don't want to spoil stuff, right? There's a lot of moving parts in this short film. You know, it's a short film, but it's very dense. Like, there's not really going to be a boring moment in this thing. We just dropped the teaser, which you guys are showing a lot of love for, which is awesome. Very exciting to see that. If you haven't checked it out, it is up on the channel, on the Samster channel. If you check it out, I think it looks pretty cool, you know? It is like just a teaser. Like, it doesn't give anything away. It's literally just to let you know that, hey, this is on the way. That's all it is. I'm not trying to give anything away in terms of plot. And then about 2 weeks before the actual final thing comes out, I'll release a proper trailer for you guys to enjoy. And then the full thing will come out for you all to enjoy. All right, I've yapped on long enough. Let's just get right into this. Let's just double check that this is all working. This is working. My camera looks a little weird, so that's like there we go. That's nicer. There we go. Is it? Sorry guys, perfectionist over here. There we go, that's better. Nice. There we go. Better. Alright, cool. So let's just get right into this. So we've got DaVinci open. Yes, I know. You're like, what? You don't use After Effects? You don't use Premiere? Nah. And it's for one main reason. I hate Adobe. Adobe has some of the worst software out there, to be honest. The only software that I use from Adobe is Photoshop and what's it called? Substance Painter. Other than that, I don't use any of their stuff because it's constantly crashing. There's tons of bugs. It's slow as hell. Like, when you try and watch something back, it's just chugging. Whereas DaVinci is just smoother, faster. It's actually the professional standard. Like, if you get into the industry, they're using DaVinci. They're not using Premiere. They're not using After Effects. They're using Nuke for compositing, not After Effects. And they're using DaVinci Resolve for color grading and editing, not Premiere Pro. Okay? So if you want to start using the softwares that the professionals, the people at the top of their game use, you've got to start learning Nuke. You've got to start learning DaVinci Resolve. And they're quite easy to learn. So here we have a shot from the teaser. So if you guys watch the teaser, this was the opening shot, and it was just like a nice little mood shot of the sky. Bit of a nice solar flare you see here. Got nice bit of a lens flare here. It's a little subtle, but that is the key for it to be subtle. And you got your lighting here, right? And you can see there's quite a bit of post-processing effects. Although I don't know if it will be super visible on YouTube, because I know YouTube does compress videos quite aggressively in order to get the amount of videos that go up on their page. So, you know, no worries if you can't. But I've added a lot of different things here. So there's chromatic aberration, which you can see hopefully there, little colors there. You've got film grain, got a bit of radial blur on the corners. So you see where it starts to go a bit circular. You see this a lot in the TV show Narcos. If any of you watch that show, it's one of my favorite TV shows called Narcos. Not the Mexico one. That one is quite inaccurate. They didn't really follow the true stories. Like, they kind of vaguely followed the true stories, but when you actually do research of your own about the cartels and the DEA and everything like that, it's not at all what it was like. So don't worry about Narcos Mexico. Worry about the original Narcos with Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. I think that's his full name. But basically, the post-processing in that show had this very cool radial blur going around the edges, and I just love it. So I wanted, and I've never used it before in any of my pieces, but I wanted to use it in this one. I think it just looks awesome. It blends in really nicely. We've got a few things in terms of color grading going on. I've added some additional motion blur because Unreal Engine 5's motion blur is a little weird, guys. I'm going to be completely honest. When you render a shot straight out of Unreal Engine, the motion blur is a little weird. It's not accurate, and it's subtle, but your brain can recognize it. It makes it look more like a game. So I always find that when you take a shot out of Unreal Engine, just slap some extra motion blur on top of it, using the motion blur, I don't know what you call it, motion blur node, I guess, or effector, in DaVinci, and it just adds, and you know, you crank it down. You don't want it at full strength because full motion blur is a bit intense, but crank it down a little bit, make it more of a subtle on top, you know. And I find that helps it quite significantly. It just looks better. It just looks better. So I can actually show you here what is going on with my hair. What is this? Am I just... My hair is just a mess today. Okay, it's just a bad hair day, guys. I had a shower yesterday and I clearly didn't dry my hair properly before going to bed. And so it's just an absolute mess. That's right. Okay, so if I do Shift D, so I hold down Shift and I press D, it disables all of the post-processing, all the color grading. And look at that difference, right? That's it now. That's it before. After. Before. After. Before. After. Before. After. Right? Now, like even this lens flare here, that's not there. I've added that in post in here in DaVinci, right? And it's just subtle things like that can really help with a shot. Because this looks cool. Like, I like what this looks like. This is a cool shot, right? I don't have a problem with how this looks. But it can be better. And if it can be better, why not make it better? You know what I'm saying? So I apply all those effects and does this. So let me show you what I'm doing. So if we come into color grading here, and I know it looks a little intimidating. In fact, let me move. Oh, not that. Why can't I select my camera? There we go. Let me do this because down there is not super important right now. But what we've got here is we've got our nodes. So rather than layer-based, which a lot of Adobe softwares are, DaVinci and Nuke are both node-based. And what that means is basically you get an air view, like a above looking down view. I don't know. There's a term for it, but I can't remember it, and I can't be bothered to remember it. That allows you basically to assess all the different effects. Where are they going? What are they plugged into? What are we doing here, right? And so basically what I have is this is my original footage, and then what I'm doing is I'm duplicating it and I'm applying one of these LUTs, which is like a pre-made color grade. I'm applying it to my footage. Now see, that's what the LUT does to the footage when you have it at 100%, and it's a little too much, right? We want subtle here. So what we do is we make a second layer. So this is our original footage. This layer is a duplicate of this, and we are putting it on top of our footage. So you've got your footage, and then you've got your footage duplicated here. But then what we're doing is we're reducing the opacity of that layer on top. And by doing that, we can then apply one of these grades to it. And rather than it being super intense, so if I come in here, I've got this color grade, I've got it at 0.2, right? The original is 1, which is this. And that's way too intense. Look at that. That's ridiculous. Like, that's unreadable, way too intense. So what we do is we reduce it down to that. And you'd be like, oh, but now is it even doing anything? Well, it is. Look, watch. So that's it before, and that's it after. It's subtle, but it is doing something. And it's giving it that, because you have to remember as well that when you look at reference footage of the Last of Us games, there's not a heavy grade on anything. It's actually quite desaturated, low contrast, right? Because it's trying to emulate real life. Like it's aiming for realism. And if the grade's too intense, it's not going to feel as real. Yes, it might be more eye-catching, but the point is that it wants to feel immersive. It wants to feel like real life. So we don't want to pump the contrast too much. We don't want to pop the saturation too much. You'll notice I've dropped the saturation from 50 to 40. And this altogether just helps achieve that look. You'll also notice as well that The Last of Us has like a slightly warm look to it, I notice, in certain shots. But it can go cold as well, and then it's just more of a decision. But that's what the color grading is doing. Now, let's go into Fusion. Now, if none of you know what Fusion is basically very similar to Nuke, but it's built into DaVinci, right? So if let's say you have absolutely no experience with Nuke, it's very intimidating, but you're like, oh, but I've played around with DaVinci. Give Fusion a go, right? There's a lot of very useful tools in DaVinci. I've done tons of comp work in DaVinci. Using Fusion, it is a very powerful tool. I highly recommend it. I keep hitting my mic. This is how professional I am, people. I keep hitting my mic because I forget it's there. I'm not used to streaming. But we've got a few things going on here, and let me show you what we've got. So, like I said, we've got some additional motion blur going on. We've got some chromatic aberration going on, because if you look at, again, reference is really important. So when I look at the reference, there's a lot of chromatic aberration. We've got a lens flare. See, it's not super obvious, but if I move it there, you see it there? Does anyone see that? See that lens flare? That is... Oh. Why isn't it letting me? Alright, whatever. Sorry, I'll just adjust it. There we go. But essentially, that's just adding a little bit of an extra effect, which we want. And then we have vignette. Right, and it's very subtle. It's not doing anything too crazy. But I find that without vignette, it can sometimes feel hard as a viewer to know exactly where to look. And that's what vignette is for. It's to basically lead the eye of the viewer. Let them know, hey, I want you to look over here. Don't worry about this stuff over here. I want you to look over here. So that's what vignette is doing. Then we've got radial blur, which is essentially doing the same as vignette, but it's more of an artistic decision. So if I turn that off, you'll see it more here. So look at this bit here. So this is without radial blur, and that's with. So it's just subtly blurring in quite a stylistic, artistic way, which I personally love. Like I said, Narcos, the show, uses it a lot. I love that it uses that. There's some of the most beautiful shots in that show that use that, and I don't know, I just like it. I like it a lot. It's just a decision. You don't have to use it to make your shot look more real. You know, you might be against it. You might say, actually, I think it looks like shit, Sam. But for me, para mí, me encanta. And then lastly, we have film grain. Film grain is very important in The Last of Us, guys. If you look at any gameplay of The Last of Us games, there is so much film grain. Like, there's an option in settings, I think in graphics, where you can turn off film grain. It is wild. The difference between having the film grain on and then turning it off when you play the game. It's like night and day, honestly. Like, the level of realism, it changes it a lot. It's crazy. So this is it with, this is it without. It still looks good, but again, we're not, like, a camera isn't, the world isn't perfect, nor is a camera perfect. So there are imperfections that a camera is going to capture, and there are imperfections that are going to occur when a camera is capturing that you need to emulate when you are doing a VFX shot, because you can't leave a shot out and just hope it gathers dust and imperfections just naturally happen, right? That's not going to happen unless you set up like some crazy system to simulate those imperfections when you shoot your shots in Unreal. I find it's a lot easier to just do it in post. Do it here in DaVinci or Nuke. Nuke is great for it as well. I use Nuke a ton for these very same effects, but I find for fully CG stuff, DaVinci is where it's at. So this is all the stuff. Now, why am I doing it as a bunch of nodes instead of just a bunch of layers like you could in After Effects or Premiere? Well, I will tell you. So, this shot is from the trailer. This is a shot that I rendered last night. It's an exclusive, guys. So if you're watching this live, this is an exclusive. This is the opening shot of the piece, where the main character comes across something of very high value inside of this hospital, right? Now, this shot looks great. I'm happy with the lighting. It's cool how he's out of focus. He's kind of in shadow. And then as he gets closer to the camera, he enters the light because there's like this ray of light coming through. You can kind of see a ray of light back here. And there's there's another one in the room kind of casting light, causing that directional light. Again, you always want to aim for directional light, not flat lighting, because flat lighting is not going to look very cinematic on your character. And I like how he's kind of dark at the beginning. He's out of focus, and then as he steps into the light, he comes into focus. And it's like essentially like a, oh, who's that? Here he comes, introducing our main character. That's the kind of setup that we're going for here. I say we, I am. I keep saying we as if like I've got a team working on the VFX, and it's like it's just me. I did have an amazing team on the actual shoot, so I can use the term we when I talk about that, but post still just me for now. Watch this space, guys. This channel's gonna grow, and we're gonna get a team working on this stuff eventually. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna be pumping out so much fun stuff for you guys to enjoy. But basically, I'm happy with how this shot looks like. It looks really cool. I like the environment. I like the atmospherics of the dust specks that you see here, the volumetric fog, the lights. It looks great. I'm happy with it, right? That's why I rendered it out. However, it can be better. Like I said earlier, just because something's good doesn't mean it can't be better. So, the beauty of using nodes is this. So I can now come back here into this shot, come into my node setup that I've got right here, highlight all of them, Control C to copy, right? Now I come back to this shot, open up, right? And there's no nodes. But watch. Paste. Now we've got all our nodes. Wait, is that one disconnected? Oh, it is. There we go. That's why it was playing up. Cool. See? I don't need to go through one by one and set them up for this shot, because I've already got them all up. Now, we don't need the lens flare, right? So let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that lens flare. But everything else, look, it's already there. I didn't have to go through one by one and tediously alter stuff, right? It's awesome. What was that at? That was at 0.4. How do I like that? No, I actually don't. Let's go back to the radial blur. Let's reduce that again. There we go. That's better. Something subtle. Cool. Look at that, right? Now, there's still a few things we can do, right? So lens correction. This is like where you can emulate lens distortion. So let's take the lens distortion that we're using on that shot and let's bring it into this shot, right? Boom. Now it's subtle, but again, it's emulating a camera because you would get lens distortion if you filmed with a real camera. This is what we're trying to do. It's constantly asking ourselves questions of what can I do to make this feel more like it was filmed with a real camera? Because that's the look I'm going for. Certain projects you might not be going for that. You might want it to feel like a video game. You might want it to feel super stylized, right? But for this specific piece, being in the world of The Last of Us, we have to make sure that it is as close as possible to reality. Okay, so that's what we are trying to do. All right. By the way, if anyone has any questions or anything that they want to say, if they want to comment on anything or ask about anything, don't hesitate. Feel free to shoot it in the chat. If not, no worries. Just keep watching, you know. You might just be having this playing in the background while you're chilling, doing some work, doing some homework, whatever. You know, it's whatever is up to you, right? So now that we've got all our nodes set up, there's another thing that we can do, which is really cool, okay? So instead of having to go through and one by one try and recreate the same setup for the grade, right? I can literally just hover my mouse over this clip and click my middle mouse button and boom, look at that. Now it's not super obvious on screen, but it's now applied the grade. Right, so this is, let's get to a shot. So here, that's it without, and that's with it. Without, with. Hey bro, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Now, for this particular shot, I would like it to be warmer, right? For the other shots, it was kind of nice having it a bit cooler. Felt nice, but for this shot I want it to feel warmer. That's why I went with the warmer lights in that environment, right? So let's just crank up the temperature to something like 800. Let's see what that looks like. That's better. I like that. I like how that looks. So now the grain, I see, this is another thing, right? And it's something I need to adjust for because it's something, if you haven't watched it already, there's a short film on my channel called Deja Vu. And for that one, I wanted to have a lot of film grain for that one because the idea was it was supposed to feel like you were inside like a 60s TV, you know, one of those box TVs. That was like the kind of feel that I was aiming for. And I initially thought I had enough film grain, but as I started posting test renders up on YouTube, but like privated, just so I could see what they looked like on a big screen, just so I could see what they looked like on my phone, I started to notice that because of the way that YouTube compresses things, film grain actually becomes really invisible when you post it on YouTube. It's something I noticed. I never noticed it before, but for like the last 7-8 months following, dude, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to get this thing out for you guys to enjoy. But yeah, I just noticed suddenly that, oh wow, film grain really does not survive YouTube's compression algorithm. And look, I get it, right? So much content is being uploaded to YouTube constantly. Their servers have to be stupidly massive. So I get it. It's got to be an aggressive compression algorithm. Otherwise, the whole system's going to go down, right? But it's just good. Those are things that I think are good to know, because you might think it looks really high quality because you're looking at the raw capture the raw render in your editing software of choice, and then you upload it to YouTube, and the compression messes with it, right? And this is just sometimes something you've got to deal with. So I like what this looks like, but something that I've noticed, and I kind of noticed it when I posted the teaser trailer, is things look a little too soft. So I'm going to add a sharpen edges. Just very subtle. Is it even doing anything by the... I need to see if it's... Okay, it is doing something amazing. It's very subtle, but I just noticed that, yeah, like it looked really crisp, really high quality, and then when I posted the teaser, it looked a little soft around the edges, which isn't really the look I'm going for right now. Like, it might work for some projects, right? Maybe you want it to have a bit of that soft, light kind of look to it, but with this, I want it to feel sharp and grainy and dark and, you know, intense, right? Because that's the look of The Last of Us. So that's what I'm trying to emulate here, right? So this is the shot before. Hit play. Still pretty good, right? Got some cool stuff here, some cool lighting going on, nice bit of that directional light, that side light, dark on the shadow, then he comes into the shadow, he's still out of focus, you're like, who is this? And then he steps into the light, comes into focus, you know, because he's looking, and then he shows some joy because he's found something. I like this bit when he puts his hands on the table, the camera kind of goes woo like that when he puts his hands on the table, as if the camera's actually there sitting on the table. And that was just like a little bit of hand animation. That's not like simulator or anything. It's just literally just the tiniest little bit of animation of just boop, like that. And it does so much. It just adds a sense of realism that I feel like wasn't there before. Does this all look okay? Yep. Looks okay to me. Yeah. And the idea here is it will cut to black as he grabs the mysterious thing that he's been searching for all this time. My hair is an absolute state right now, guys. I haven't had a haircut in months, so I'm constantly like doing this. Like, my fringe is never this long. Like, I need to get it like at least half this length right now. It's just stupid. But anyway, getting off subject. So this is for after. For after. Let me zoom in here. You can see more that's happening. For after. Just got your chromatic aberration, you've got your grain, you've got everything. I don't think I've added glow. I think that's one thing I've missed. Have you got any glow? We do not have any glow. Okay, I'm going to add some glow. I'm gonna add some glow. Just the subtlest. Subtlest? That's not a word, is it? That's definitely not a word. Let's see, is that doing anything? Okay, yeah, that's doing something. Yeah, that's all right. A little bit, you know, a little bit. Nothing crazy. We don't want to overdo it, right? It's going to be playing back slowly because I'm streaming at the same time as doing this. So it's not going to do a very fast playback, but that's okay. I don't need it to do it fast. This is looking cool. Yeah. Hell yeah. It looks very cool. It looks nice. And it doesn't look too dark either. I mean, I want it to feel dark. That's the point. Like, this shot is supposed to feel like it's this dark, gloomy hospital, right? I don't want it to feel like, oh, it's so beautiful and pretty. You know what I mean? Like, so I use Josh Toonan's Nuke scripts for comping Unreal shots. Very good if Nuke knows. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Bring down the midtones, you think? Kind of like it. Kind of like how it looks right now. Maybe. Kind of like it. I think I might leave it for now. I might add a little more contrast. Let's add a tiny bit more contrast. I just want to see what it looks like with a bit more contrast. Ooh, that's a little more interesting now. Ooh, actually, that looks that pops a bit more now on your eye. You know, I feel like that pops a bit more. Like I look at that and I'm like, oh, you know. What do you guys think? I feel like that actually did something. I think that actually improved it. Yeah. It looks so much better once you apply all the post-processing. So I'm very happy with how that's looking. That's pretty cool. So let's save that. No, I don't need to do that. Just Control X. Come on now, Sam. Yes, sir. All right. Let's move on to actually getting into Unreal, guys. Woo! We're actually let's go into Unreal right now. Let's do some cool stuff in Unreal. Well, not infected, because I don't want to spoil anything, but let's do something, okay? Let's have some fun. Let's do something here. Just pulling it up. Where's it gone? We're just going to be making a certain environment look a little more post-apocalyptic, because I bought this very cool looking environment, but the problem is right now it just looks abandoned. It doesn't look post-apocalypse. So we need to add some stuff to give it more of that post-apocalyptic look. So where has it gone? I know what it's called. There we go. Demo? No, not demo. No, it is demo. Environment? Level. There we go. There we go. Industrial factory. Demo. Maps. Is it this one? I hope it's this one. We shall see. Let me show my screen. Well, actually, hang on. Let's give it a second. It's loading. I think this might be it. I'm hoping this is it. Factory Docks 01. Right, almost, guys, almost. Give it a little longer. It's just doing its compiling shaders thing that it does. You know what? Let's just. There we go. Give it a second to load. And then we just check it out, see what it's looking like. But yeah, that's pretty much what you guys saw before. That's pretty much what I'm doing to every single shot after I render it out of Unreal Engine, right? It looks cool, but it could look cooler. And so that's what we're doing. We're bringing the shots into DaVinci and doing that. And then you render it all out, and then you bring it back into DaVinci in a separate file with all the different pieces. You put them all together, and then you start doing your sound design at that point, you know, which is my least favorite part of the process, mainly just because I'm inexperienced at the moment when it comes to sound design. I'm definitely getting better at it, you know, and the more opportunities I get to actually practice it, I find myself learning new things. I think the main thing that I've learned about sound design is that more is often better. The more sound effects, the more ambience, the more stuff you add in, the better. The more you layer, because there's a lot of different sources of noise and sound in life that we don't really notice initially, but then when you actually, remove that, and let's say like you have a scene of someone walking down a road in a forest, if all you have is their footsteps and then like the sound effect of wind, you notice, oh, and it just feels off. But then you've got to add lots of layers, like the rustling of his trousers and the coat and the swinging of the backpack and the trees and some birds off in the distance and different things. Here we go. So this was the right map. So this is an awesome map, by the way, guys. This map is very cool. So let me move myself up here. Let's give it a second to load everything. It's a pretty dense scene, but there's a reason for that, because a lot is going down. A lot is going to be going down in this environment. I won't give anything away, but this is probably going to be the most challenging of all scenes. Like, we've done all the motion capture for it, and like it looked really cool. Like being there, watching us, watching the stunt director take what I gave him and bringing it to life, and actually being able to witness this awesome fight scene come to life. It was amazing. Like, I had the best time. However, at the same time, I was watching it and I was just like, ooh, this is gonna come back and bite me. Oh, yep. I am chugging along right now. I can see my frame rate is dropping because it's having to load so much. What if we go into unlit mode? Maybe it'll be a little calmer on me. Yeah? We're gonna be a little nicer? There we go. So, this environment, I mean, it's still loading some stuff, but I apologize for the low frame rate right now, guys. It's just because it's loading stuff. But as you can see, it's a pretty cool environment. And once I show you guys what it looks like lit, and you see everything, it looks awesome. But it doesn't look post-apocalyptic yet. So, wow, it is chugging right now. This is a really cool idea. As someone who loves game dev and The Last of Us, this stream is exactly what I've needed to see. Thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. My name is Sam. If you're new, my name is Sam. This is the channel, Samster, and I stream every week. Working hard on short films, fully CG short films, kind of like, like Love, Death, and Robots, the series on Netflix, or what's the new one on Amazon that's like Level 1 or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. Where it's like short, every episode is like a short film and it's like fully CG. That's kind of my end goal. Like, I love that kind of stuff. I grew up watching the cinematic trailers for video games, all the Assassin's Creeds and The Last of Us, and a few Skyrim ones as well were really sick, with like the night and stuff like that. I just love those. And I've always had so much fun with the idea of like making them myself. And so I am, I'm taking things into my own hands and I'm giving it a go. I'm not the best at it. I'm not the most experienced. I'm still very young in my career as a VFX artist and director, but I'm giving it a shot and learning a lot. And hopefully you guys learn something along the way as well and enjoy the content. But yeah, welcome. Okay, here we go. This is looking a lot cooler now. So I've gone for quite like a soft, polluted feel for this shot, which just looks so cool on these guys. Like, look at that. That lighting looks so nice. I like it. Like, it's still directional. It's still directional lighting, but it's softer. So you know. You oops. Oh, okay. You're doing great, haha. The environment looks fantastic. How many assets are made in-house? So I am what you call a one-man army, where basically everything visual is done by me. And so if I can cut down a month's worth. Hi, I like that he's black. Cool, man. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. We were all kinds of colors. We got different skin colors going on here, bro. Yeah, but basically, if I can cut down some time, you know, if I can find an asset pack on Fab or, you know, the Unreal Marketplace, I think Fab is now what it's called. If I can find an asset pack full of stuff that just saves me time and allows me to just build the environment, but I don't have to worry about modeling the assets, that's what I tend to aim to do. However, I do make a ton of custom assets as well. So these metahumans are all custom metahumans. Not like to the point of like I've rigged them myself, but just like I haven't. Exactly, yeah. For indie creation, like if like my dream is that this channel gets big enough that I can actually have a team of people working on these things with me. And at that point, I'd love to just make a ton of stuff custom, right? I would love to do a ton of stuff custom at that point. But for now, as an indie creator by myself, that's the way I gotta go for now. But I do still make a ton of custom assets. You know, there's a ton of things that I model or even what I might do sometimes is I'll find a model online, like a free model that says that you can use it yourself in your own project, which is surprisingly hard. Sometimes you'll find an asset and you'll be like, yes, it's the perfect asset, and then it goes, can't be used in short films or whatever, like strictly for this kind of use. And I'm like, damn it. But if I can find one that's not got any problems and I can use it, I'll often bring that into Substance Painter and completely retexture it, or I might bring it into Blender and alter it further, right, to make sure that it matches what I'm going for. But I'm trying to cut down time wherever I can. That's the goal. So I think, bloody hell, is it done yet? Why is it taking so long? I've been in this environment before, by the way. That's why these metahumans are here. So I don't really understand why it's taking so long to load. Wow, it is chugging along, isn't it? But anyway, okay, it's a little better now. So we've got some stuff here, right? We've got this broken down van, some abandoned stuff over here, some cool fog effects, some fire effects. Like, it looks cool, right? I like, wow, it is really chugging. I'm happy with how this environment is looking. However, I think it could look a little bit more post-apocalypse, right? It looks trashed, it looks abandoned, it looks run down, but I want to add some additional story things that just really sell the point of, hey, this is post-apocalypse, people. All right, nothing nice has been happening here. So I think some cool stuff that could do that are some assets that I've gathered. There's one in particular that I really want to add. I can't remember if I've imported it yet. If I haven't, then I might just have to do this next live stream, which is fine. You know, if I have to do that, I have to do that. But let's see, where is it? Cool. Right. Yeah, the volumetric fog is so nice. It's so nice. Especially like for wider shots. Hey Izzy, how you doing? It's good to see you. Long time. Yeah, it has been a long time. It's good to see you. How you been? But yeah, basically it's gonna be pretty cool for shots like this where you see him like walking through the mist and stuff. It's gonna it's gonna look pretty cool, you know? It's gonna look pretty cinematic. And if you go to my Instagram, guys, if you want to see exclusive behind the scenes, there's also some little teasers of the motion capture. If you go to my Instagram, which is at Samster_visual effects, so SAMSTER_VFX. If you go to that Instagram page, it's got the same at handle as my YouTube and my TikTok. They all have the same image as well, so helps out with that as well. So at that point, then if you go onto the Instagram, you will see a ton of motion capture stuff that we've released from the shoot day, which was awesome. You'll see the professional stunt people fighting and stuff like. Oh, it's so cool. So I recommend checking that out if you want to see some exclusive behind the scenes. But if you want to stay completely blind and unknowing until the release, then maybe don't go there. But consider following me on Instagram, because I do post exclusive behind the scenes there, and I do also post a ton of stuff here as well for you to enjoy. This was just randomly suggested to me, and I couldn't be more grateful. I'm currently trying to learn this stuff. Awesome, dude. Welcome. Come along. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it a lot. Welcome to the fam. Welcome to the channel that's definitely not weird. Yeah, we're normal people over here. Thanks, Izzy. I appreciate it. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. Yeah, I've been good. I've been very busy. Lots of stuff going on. Work, and then also the channel as well, trying to juggle the two. It's been very, very, very busy, but we're getting there, I'm having a good time. But trying to do a live stream every week. Might have to cut this one short in a minute though, because I have a lot of stuff going on. But there's a few more. Reminds me of my mom when she cooks burgers and beans. The fog, yeah, man. Fills up the kitchen. You got to open a window, bro. You got to open a window. Yes, busy is good. It's very refreshing from where I was at before, which was just prison, basically. I was bored out of my mind. All right, let's find. Here we go. So we've got some post-apocalyptic cars here. Just some cool assets, and I think some of these would look pretty cool in this environment, just I know, like, narratively you might want to be like, oh, how would a car get there? And I get it, but at the same time it's like I want to tell a good story rather than worry about that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Because right now this looks run down, but I need it to feel more post-apocalypse. So that looks pretty good. And the colors blend in quite well. I want to do something here though, because we've got some birds flying up there, which is pretty cool. How's London? London is great. London is good. It's fast paced, that's for sure. It's definitely not Canterbury, but it's it's good. It's good. It's been a fun time. I'm trying to remember, guys, if I imported this attack helicopter, because there was this asset that I found of a crashed attack helicopter, which was really cool, and I think could really make this piece feel more post-apocalypse, And I'm just trying to remember where I put it in my assets, because I've downloaded a lot of assets. Whenever people ask me how certain things like cars and dumpsters end up in random locations in my scenes, especially post-apocalyptic, I just use the excuse that someone moved it for cover. Oh, that's actually a good shout. Yeah, I'll catch you later, Izzy. Take care. It's good to talk to you. It's been too long. You have a good rest of your Sunday. Take care. Pull it out of your assets. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's here somewhere. But, that's a good point, actually. I will just use that now. Thank you. I shall be stealing that for my explanations. I'm trying to remember where I put it. I can't remember if I downloaded it or not. I'll find it here. Okay, so that's thumbnails, nope. Mocap, no. Environments, possibly? No, those are screenshots. Oh, 3D assets. Helicopter. Yes, here we go. Get in. Found it, guys. I found it. I knew I downloaded it. Crashed. Helicopter. Helicopter. Sorry. I can't not say that. And then these are all the textures. That's awesome. Let's import. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. I want to learn Unreal, but I think my system may limit me. What are you running this on? So I am running this on a 3090 GPU. Now, I know you might be like, whoa, how did you afford that? Are you rich or something? No. Basically what happened is I had a car during uni, and then Russia invaded Ukraine and gas prices shot through the roof, and I couldn't afford to have a car anymore. So I ended up selling my car, and then I used the money from selling that car to buy the PC. And I got very lucky because there was one PC that had a 3090 in it. It was the last one, and I was able to get it. I got very lucky. It was not a situation where I just went, yeah, I just bought it all for 10 grand. It was not a 10 grand PC. It was I can't even remember how much it was now, but yeah. The best thing about it is the 3090. That's all I'll say. Everything else is pretty bad, but the 3090 is pretty good. You can still, yeah, it was rough, but exactly, I enjoy doing what I'm doing still. It's not going to stop me. But yeah, no, totally, man. Like, Unreal is one of those things where it's scalable. Like, you don't have to. You have a 3060, but I'm concerned that my GPU isn't fast enough. Well, yeah, so here's the thing. When it comes to Unreal Engine, if you try to run stuff at like everything at 8K textures, super high quality, and like metahumans, you import like the most cinematic version, then yeah, it's gonna struggle. But you can just scale down things, right? You can basically handle it like you would any other software, right? In Blender, let's say your scene is too dense. What are you going to do? Well, everything near to the camera, you're going to keep super detailed, but then once you go past a certain point and the depth of field starts to come into play, you start to turn the quality of things down. So you get stutters and things on your way. Yeah, that stuff's it's tough, man. It's tough, but there's definitely 100% a ton you can still learn using Unreal Engine. You just might not be able to hit that level of quality that you see others do, but to be honest, you might be able to figure a way around it. You might be able to cheat the system. There's a lot of people that haven't had the best systems, and they're still able to figure it out. They're still able to kind of make it seem like it's super detailed, but in reality, they're cheating stuff. There's little tricks. There's tricks of the trade. So I recommend giving it a go. You just might have to start smaller scale, and work your way up and see where your PC's limit is. You'll look into it? Awesome, mate. Glad to hear it. That teaser was awesome, by the way. Again, that motion capture is insanely crisp. Super hyped to see the final project. Thank you, mate. Yeah, me too. I'm very excited to see the final thing. Been working through it bit by bit, and I have to say, it is looking pretty nice. This is struggling to import, by the way. What is happening here? Is the whole system froze? I'm hoping not. It's not going to be very close. Let's see. I think it's... No, it hasn't. Okay, so it is running okay. So I wonder what... We might have to restart. We might have to restart. If this is going to keep playing up. Interesting. Yeah, I think we're going to have to put her down. Put her down, boys. Put her down. I mean, it's not... Doesn't seem to be frozen. I'm using a big chunk of my memory. It's okay. Oh, I ran out of memory. That's the problem. I ran out of memory usage. It's using all my memory usage right now. So I think that's the issue. It must just be too high poly. So that's fine. There's a way around this. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to end task. And we're going to open up Blender. We're going to bring this thing into Blender and de-res it because it's going to be off in the distance, so we don't need it to be super high res. It's okay for it to be lower detailed. So if we import this in, there we go. It's not that dense. I don't know why it was struggling so much. Is it even that dense? I think it is. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's really that's really dense, actually. So let's see what it looks like. Let's reduce the number down. And while we're doing this, we'll just relaunch We Few Survivors. There we go. What's it look like now? That's not it. I mean, this is the main bit. So if we can get this thing to be more manageable, we should be done. Damn, bro, it's chugging. Whew. Yeah, that's better. Because, like, from a distance, because really, in terms of scale, it's going to be about that. And, like, so it's not like I'm going to be this close going, oh, what does the interior look like? You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be like from about here. It's just dressing. And so we don't need it to be crazy detailed, I guess. I mean, that's the simplest way to put it. It's just post-loading. Wow. That's another problem I've been running into with this piece is like I'm really aiming for like the highest fidelity, and what that means is well, I experience a fair few crashes. That's you know, Naughty Dog went all out when it came to the quality of of The Last of Us, and you know, that's one of its iconic things is how detailed it is. That was one of, like, especially when the first game came out when it did. Like, no one had made anything like that. It was on a level of cinematic visuals and also storytelling. It was like playing a movie, and that hadn't been done all that much. Like, yes, it had been done before. This wasn't the first of its kind to tell a good story in a game. But it was just at a level that, like, hadn't really been seen. The graphics, I mean, you look back on it now and it's like, well, you know, the graphics still hold up in my opinion, but it is like, you can see the age on it. It's starting to show its age a little. And so it's one of those things where it's like, all right, I've got to match that. I've got to match that. I can't post this and people be going, oh, this sucks. This looks really bad. Because, I mean, who the heck's gonna watch it at that point? You know, like, I need people. If I'm to, oh, whoa, what is going on here? Okay, let's ignore that for now. Let's import. What's going on? Yes. Oh my days. Yes. Why are you apply to all? Clicked apply to all. Okay, there we go. That's fine. Okay. Save. Let's bring the mic down here. Okay. Try this one more time. If it doesn't import, I might just have to do this in my own time, guys, which I apologize for. I'm new here, but you should use my motion matching kit for the character. The Last of Us has motion matching, so it have some similar motion. That's true. This is We've actually already recorded all of the motion capture, and it's actually a short film. It's not actually so maybe I need to make that. It's not clickbait. I'm not trying to be a clickbait, but I've just realized that maybe I need to be a bit more specific in my title. But I'm making a Last of Us movie in Unreal Engine, but I'm trying to make it look like the game, if that makes sense. Like a movie set in the game rather than trying to do it live action, if that makes sense. But I would I'll check it out, mate. I'll check it out because I am using Unreal Engine. I have been kind of fascinated by the idea of eventually making a game, so maybe I make like a short little experience that emulates The Last of Us, you know? That could be cool. Please don't crash on me. If this crashes, I might just have to leave it there and optimize this in my own free time, because this is going to be a problem. Why is it struggling? Because it imported fine here. That is what I need. So maybe. Ooh, it's chugging. Nice. So this is now much lower in terms of polygons. So it should be easier to read, I guess. Let's go to 3D assets, helicopter. Low poly. Spot. Yeah, we don't need to save. That's fine. Canberra. Didn't realize you just struggled this much with it, man. Unreal can't handle this particular mesh. Something about this mesh it just can't handle. Let's do this whilst I try and troubleshoot. Why does my camera look so overblown right now? So this is my ADHD kicking in, and I'm getting distracted. There we go. That's better. I'm less blown out now. That's a little better. Okay. Right, how do we figure this out? I think I know what's doing it. When I brought that model into Blender, it appeared to be 3 different meshes, but they were all parented to an empty, and so I think Unreal is getting confused by that empty, which it shouldn't be. But I've had that before, where things like something you wouldn't expect to be a problem. It's a problem. It's annoying, but I mean, you just gotta figure out a way around it sometimes. You know, you can't really be like, oh damn it, why hasn't Unreal fixed this? Because they should have fixed it, but you just gotta work with it. You know, gotta work with it. Just reloading the scene now, and then we can try and bring this low poly one in. See what that does. See how that looks. Because it's off in the distance, right? It doesn't have to be super detailed, and I think especially when using Unreal Engine, it can be kind of easy sometimes to be like, whoa, I can have whatever I want in my scene, and you build it up to be something stupidly massive. And it's like, well, you could have achieved the same level of visuals with way better performance if you had just thought about that from the get-go. So it's one of those things you can fall into that trap. Unreal is one of those ones that when I started using it, it was like, whoa, I can load an entire environment and fly around it. I could never do that in Blender. I could never do that in Maya. I could never do that in 3ds Max. But sometimes you just gotta practice restraint and go like, no, hang on, let's take some time and optimize our scene. Cool. Okay, this is just loading up now. We shall import this in because we've already got the textures. The textures are imported, so we've just got to get this in. Scatter out a few cars, and then I also want to add some skeletons, or at least some bones. Nothing crazy, because you never see too many bones and skeletons in Unreal. In The Last of Us. Like, they're not just everywhere. It's not like the Terminator, but I think it can help with setting a scene. Okay, right, we are back in our scene. It's loaded up. Let me show it here. We're back in our scene. Let us now bring in this. Come on, man. If it fails again, I might just have to call it there for the day, guys. And I do some troubleshooting on my own. Oh! I think it's working. It worked! Guys, it worked! Hell yeah! Woo! Woo! Hell yeah! Uh-huh. Whoa! It's massive! It's so big! It's like... There we go. Let's, it looks like it's levitating right now, so we'll fix that, but still way too big. In terms of scale. No, it's not levitating. It's on the thing, but that is still far too massive. So I think what we'll do, we're going to do something cool here. Actually, could probably keep it this size, but make it crash here, like it's crashed on the top of. Again, we do, like, obviously if I go up to it, you're like, hang on, it's clipping, but don't worry, because you don't see that. See, you don't see it. All you see is the smoke. You see the smoke here, and you see the propellers, and that's all that matters, right? It's the spectacle. I love those rays of light. Oh, is anyone else seeing this on their screen? Maybe YouTube's compressing it, but look at that. Like, the sun is shining through, and then you're getting these rays that are being cast because of the helicopter. That is cool. That is cool. I like that. I actually really like that. So let's move this guy up here. Do something like that. Rotate it up. Like that. That looks kind of nice. How it's crashed there. Maybe. Any takers? I think that looks kind of cool. That's pretty cool. I feel like. Let's bring this roof down a little. You can see it. Awesome. Sorry, there's a little delay on the stream, so if you guys do shoot a message into the chat and I don't see it immediately, I am sorry. I will do my best to read it as soon as. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. shot from up here, like with this out of focus in the foreground. That could look pretty cool, couldn't it? Yeah, let's refine the textures. I see. So I think what's happened is because when I remeshed it, it's messed up the UVs. But that's okay. That's okay. Because I'm not too worried about the textures of this thing, because it's off in the distance. You know? It's far away. I am not too concerned. It's gonna be very shiny right now. It's very shiny. So let us that. What does that look like? I think there was a roughness map. Let's bring this over here. Let's have a look in here, eh? Roughness. So we've got a metallic. So we'll bring that in. We've got a normal map. We'll bring that in. We've got a roughness and an ambient occlusion. Awesome. Bring all of those in. Let's have a look at those. So plug the ambient occlusion into the ambient occlusion. Normal into the normal. Roughness. Plug it into this multiplier so that I can specifically around that. And metallic. What does it look like? Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's actually really nice. 'Cause now you get that nice little rim light on it. Oh, that looks sick. Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. That looks so cool. With the smoke coming off of it. Yeah. See, it's just things like that. You got to scatter those out throughout your scene. It just helps a scene look post-apocalypse, right? Like, this looks run down, but it doesn't look post-apocalypse. So that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, we're just going to finish up very quickly because I've got a game sesh to get to. Got to have some time off, you know, which is surprisingly really hard for me. I really struggle with time off. I don't know, something about guilt. I don't know. That's something for my therapist. Don't worry. I don't have a therapist. Not laughing at the idea of having a therapist. I'm just laughing at myself for not being funny, you know. Could one be there? I do like these brick walls. This is... Oh, actually, these brick walls being here works quite nicely for... I don't want to say too much, but there's a scene... oh, it'd be over here, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be over there. Okay, interesting. So what if we do this instead? Let's bring this car over here. Sorry guys, it's just there's a certain choreography in this scene, and got to make sure that the environment matches what we did on the day. Otherwise, it's gonna be a little awkward. But I think that works. I don't really like the angle of this. This feels a little out of place. That looks a little better. And I think, or in camera as well, we'll see. It might look better in camera. This might be one of those things that in camera it actually looks fine, so I'm not going to overthink it too much, you know. are here. These detailed enough to go upside down? Yes, they are. And we're having an upside down car. Hell yeah. Gotta have an upside down car in the post-apocalypse. Feel off without it. Cool. Skeleton. There's a lot of skeletons, so like skeletal meshes. So it's gonna take me literally and go, you want to see every skeletal mesh? I know. Just the static mesh, please. Just the static mesh. There we go. Right, so I think this little skelly boy going right here could be cool. Like he's been shot and he's just kind of bled out and died here. Let's make him a bit more appropriate to scale. He's a little young. He's a little small. Looks like a young kid that died, and that's not YouTube friendly. Let's be honest, this piece is not going to be YouTube friendly. I'm fairly certain this piece is going to get demonetized, but I don't care because I'd rather make a good, accurate piece to the franchise that you guys can enjoy than make money. I'm not in this for the money. I just want to make some cool stuff that makes you go, ooh. If I get one ooh in the comments, then I know I've made it. You know? Yeah? No? Okay, I'll just go fuck myself. Looks pretty good. Ooh. No, I was gonna say it could be kind of cool to add a skeleton up here, but would you see it? Would you even see it if I put it in here? I don't think you would. I will, though. Just for fun. Because then that's like a little Easter egg for you guys. You guys will know there's a skeleton up here chilling. Anyone want to come up with a name for the skeleton that's going to chill up in this helicopter? No one will know that this skeleton is up here, apart from us. Any takers? I will pick a name if no one picks one. Making like a big dude. He died right here, right? He's just chilling. There's one there, and then we'll have someone in the pilot seats as well. There's a guy here. He had a really bad back posture when he died. That's partly why he didn't survive the crash. His terrible back posture, very relatable. Nice. And one last one over here. I'm not seeing any names. I'm gonna pick one if no one picks one. Cool. Okay, so we've got... Alright, you know what? I'm just going to name them. I'm not seeing any names, so I'm going to just name them. So we've got my boy Bruce, who just died in the back before the plane even crashed. We've got Jeffrey, who got shot by a sniper trying to bring the helicopter down because they thought it would have supplies. And then this is Bob. And Bob didn't really know what was going on until the plane crashed. And by then, he was already dead. He's a bit of a slow guy. Yeah. Yeah, we'll run with that. Why not? Okay. Let's do one last thing. As I saw, there was an opacity. Aha! So, does that mean I have to change this to masked? And then opacity? Ah. Hey, Robin, how you doing, bro? Bob, Jeffrey, he was a good guy. He was. Didn't see what was coming though. He got immediately taken out. Did that do it? No, that didn't do it. Is it the alpha? Do I need to plug the alpha? No. Masked? Is it translucent? No, that doesn't feel right. Okay, so it's got to be masked. There we go. Cool. So yeah, there we go. We've got Bruce, Jeffrey, and Bob. They died as they lived. Absolutely fabulous. But yeah, that's gonna look sick. You got the smoke coming off of it, and like the rays of light from the fog. Woo! And the birds flying in the sky. Woo! Spicy. I've been saying spicy a lot throughout the production of this piece, but it's because it's true. It's gonna be spicy. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That looks really cool. It's a nice little narrative piece that's just there. You'll see it in the odd shot or two. It's not essential, right? The focus is this scene with these three and that guy over there. But these elements, these cars, the skeletons, the brick walls here, more stuff over here. They just went out for a sushi run. What a way to go. Honestly, mate. I would die for some sushi. It's a bit, pretty banging. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. The lighting looks awesome, which I did that in my own free time. This is all looking pretty cool. These characters as well. Looking very nice. Yeah, we need to come. Yeah, 100%. We need to come up with a lore. So we need to come up with a lore for those three. 100%. That would be great. We'll do that throughout the live streams. And honestly, guys, I think that's it. That's it for me for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to join this live stream. It's been very fun. Got a lot done. Showed you guys how the post-processing and color grading works to make a shot straight out of Unreal look way much. And then you just did some stuff on environment work. How much cost for rent a mocap studio for a month? A mocap studio? Oh, that's a good question, mate. I'm not sure. I know you can like rent Rococo suits and stuff, but that's when it comes to renting stuff, that's as far as my knowledge goes. But there are websites. I've seen websites where you can rent motion capture studios, motion capture volumes. So have a look around on Google. I don't have any names in my mind, but I have seen them. They are out there. I can't really remember any off the top of my head though, unfortunately right now. But yeah, so I think that's it for me, guys. We've done some cool stuff. We worked on an environment. We looked at post-processing. We looked at color grading. I showed you some of the shots that I rendered. Yeah, it's looking pretty cool. If you have not checked out the teaser for We Few Survivors yet, how much do I have to donate? I'm coming. All right. Well, there you go. I'm coming. All right. Give me 30 seconds. Go watch the We Few Survivors teaser. Watch it. Check it out. Show some love, guys. Share it with your friends. The more views that teaser gets, the more potential this piece has on blowing up. So go for it, guys. Really, just go for it. Have a great time. Watch it. Share it with your friends. Follow me on Instagram, same at handle as YouTube. Follow me on TikTok, same at handle as the other two. Samster_VFX. That is it. Everywhere, I have the same profile picture everywhere. Check me out. Watch the teaser trailer for this. I am live streaming every weekend, so come hang out. We'll build the lore for Bruce, Jeffrey, and Bob. It will be a great time. And yeah, guys. Until next time, in a bit, lads.
Yeah.